Welcome to Messy Mondays, where healthcare admin gets real, one mess at a time. I'm Brittany,
I'm Satasha.
and today we are discussing the pros and cons of telehealth versus in-office sessions for your private practice.
Yep,
So
yep.
let's get into it.
All
Okay.
right. And y'all love telehealth. Baby, when COVID came out, y'all fell in love with COVID. We have so many providers that, my bad, not fall in love with COVID, but y'all fell in love with the parameters that COVID provided as far as telehealth and being more lenient on things. So, a lot of businesses kind of boomed depending on the type of, practice that you're running your specialty because you're able to video call virtually chat with your patients and still get paid for it. So telehealth, it was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Comfortable,
Convenient.
convenient, and it was a cash process if you knew the proper modifiers and codes to use. So telehealth has been a real eye opener in the healthcare community, seeing that you can see patients and care for your patients in a virtual setting. Um, but the cons to that is good things don't last forever. Um, and you have certain situations to where patients don't have access to internet. Patients don't have access to the HIPAA, devices. You have the chances of being hacked and technology failing, and then you don't get those social cues, especially as a prescriber or a mental health provider. You don't see all the fidgeting, or you don't see all the um, maybe the bruisings on the patient, or scratches or unhealed wounds on patients because you're virtual. So you don't sometimes get the full picture because it's virtual.
Yeah. So definitely the lack of physical cues and um you have some where they're older clients, patients, so they face technical challenges, can't access it, can't get on, need help. And then you spent half your session trying to walk them through on how to get on. And by that time, the session is over and got to see your next person. So yeah, telehealth is great. It definitely has its pros, it definitely has its cons. Um, so let's get into office-based sessions. Um, Really, it's better for observing your clients and getting responses to the nonverbal cues, um, professional atmosphere, controlled environment, and then some of the therapeutic techniques that you all use, you can use those better in person versus trying to do them via telehealth. So, what do you got, Natasha, with the in office?
Just everything that you just said, being in office, sometimes it just builds a better patient provider relationship. Regardless if uh, uh the specialty that you're in. I personally love my primary care physician. I don't want to see her online. Now my allergy doctor, I will see you online every day because I don't need you poking and prodding in my nose every time I see you. So, I mean, it does build better patient provider relationships.
Mhm.
um, it does have its cons because now you have to travel to your appointments, especially if it's a provider that's not in your direct area where you can take local transportation, maybe to maybe it's a 30-45 minute ride, especially if you're in a rural area and the closest hospital is in the next town or city. Another con might be that for the provider, in a sense, is financial flow because now you have to pay for staff. Now you have to pay for a building space or office space that you have to rent. You have to pay for equipment, certain business protocols that you have to, around the town that you have to pay for, utilities, light, stuff like that. So that could be a hindrance when it comes to um, running a private practice in a brick and mortar. Um,
Absolutely. Um, so really the choice between telehealth and in-office visits, it really depends on the client's needs and the therapist or the client's preference. So, most practices that we see offer a hybrid model, but we do have clients that just do telehealth only. So, um, that's just something to consider when you're going to take that leap into opening up your private practice, definitely. So,
Absolutely. But
what options are you exploring?
what options are you exploring? However, Brittany said that, it's your option. It's your option. Well, according to Medicare, you no longer have that option.
Mhm.
Was it effective October the 1st, Brittany?
Yes,
You're going to
October
have to start,
1st.
yeah, you're going to have to start seeing your patients in office at least twice a year at the minimum. Right now, 2025, October, right now, you're going to have to see them in person twice a year.
Yeah.
No
So,
exception.
yeah. So, part of the Telemental Healthcare Access Act of 2025, um, the new rule is that you have to see your clients in person twice a year. The rule has been delayed twice. So it's set to expire September 30th. If they don't
Mhm.
extend it again, but it's best you start talking to your patients now in preparation if that rule, expires, and that way they're aware. There's no, oh my gosh, so it's very important to start getting clients that you've been seeing just telehealth that have Medicare. And usually with Medicare, the other insurances will follow. So just be
They
aware of
right
that.
behind it. Mhm. I always remember Medicare, Medicaid, those are the big dogs. So whatever they do, 90% of the time, the other insurances are going to follow right behind them because they set the standard, they set the mold. So just be prepared within the next year or two to start at least renting a space for a couple of days out the month if you're not already in a brick and mortar. Um, for more so of the like speech therapists or primary care, you guys are probably already in office. But if you're only seeing your patients follow up via telehealth from your office space, you need to start preparing to bring them in at least within the next 2 years twice a year. Just go ahead and start preparing for it because it's going to roll out within the next. And we've been telling all our clients for the last, I want to say, 2 years, hey, be prepared. Be prepared. Oh, I only want to do virtual. You might want to get a brick and mortar or rent a small space because it's going to happen. So we've been preparing our clients for the last at least year and a half, 2 years because we've seen it. We've seen the talks about it. We know that it was delayed a couple of times. We've been watching it because we knew it was going to happen. Um,
Mhm.
because that telehealth was a relief, for the COVID situation, for safety protocols. But now that it's kind of lifted, yeah, we're going to have to start going back to our norms, little bit and a little bit at a time.
Yeah. And we don't want you guys to panic. We're not saying go out here and sign a 5-year lease or anything of that. You can sublease space. So if you have, you know, colleagues that have a space, ask, can you rent a room 1 day a week and, pay it that way, sublease the space instead of going out here and getting into a lease agreement that you have to have for several years and that's not what you really want or what you need.
Exactly. So, just be prepared, look into it. You have a couple of more months. Just know they have to be seen within the first 6 months after October 1st. So within the first 6 months. So you have some time to fiddle around and find out how you want to move forward, whether you want to sublease or get your own space or, partner up with somebody and say, hey, let's rent out this place for 12.50 a month, and you use it on these days, I use it on these days, type of situation. But you have time, but just prepare for it. Get in gear. Get in gear. Telehealth only is going to be cut short real soon. So just prepare for it. Anything else, Britt?
No, I think we covered it. So that's our messy Mondays.
Yeah, that wraps up another messy Monday where we tackle some tough truths, but reminder, this is all about improving, learning, and becoming a better provider. Learning what's best for your practice and your patients. If you found this episode helpful, share it with your team, your colleagues, and your next door neighbor. Join us next Monday for more insightful help about your practice game and tightening it up. Until next time, keep it cute, stay ethical, and take care of your patients.
Bye.
Bye.